I think for the listeners out there, there's really the easiest two ways, because my story is very similar to yours with having the roommates, and then it almost becomes like an addiction where you're like, dude, I'm not paying my mortgage. I want to live for free and make money. And yeah, there's always something social going on. And as long as the building's kind of designed well. And then for me, it changed once there was children involved.
Of course.
Right. And then that's where it can be a duplex, where you actually do have your own separate units, and for a lot of people, they can finance up to a 4-unit with very little money down. Yeah, the other side would be, if they don't have the capital to own real estate, they could do like an Airbnb arbitrage, right?
Yes.
And that's what we're recommending to people on the podcast. Like, take a look at the Airbnb arbitrage, but other than that, if you have the ability to own a home, and you did the first one with a condo, I have these in Westchester, Pennsylvania, which are single families. So the challenge that we encounter in the northern states is just much more legalities, and the townships have come through, and the municipalities and the cities have said, zoning wise, this is a single family home. And then they say, here's how we define a single family zoned home, which is no more than X amount of unrelated parties.
Sure.
And the states that you're able to really scale this out in, my guess is they don't have those same restrictions. For instance, Philadelphia right now, it's 3. You can have a 7-bedroom house, but only 3 unrelated. Westchester, where I am, it's 4. And for me, the numbers get good at 4.
Yeah, for
Sam,
me, they get good for me at 7.
Home at 7.
So let's talk about. Can we go into legality since you brought it up, because this is actually big.
Sure.
So when were those laws? I'm gonna start with like a big picture kind of conceptual thing, and then I'll get detailed and talk to you how I've been discussing this with my lawyers. When were those laws created? Those are not recent laws. To my knowledge, those are the number of unrelated people. From my research, because we have them here, I have them in Charlotte. It's 4 in some areas, it's 5 in some areas, 6 in some areas. Those laws were created for 2 reasons, and they are old. They were created to keep undocumented, illegal immigrants from all 15, 20 people living in a house, and they were designed to keep out prostitution houses. That is the intent of those laws. In my opinion, we are so far from that, those are not relevant to some extent. Yeah. That being said, let's talk nuts and bolts, because dude, I've been diving into this because now I'm starting to coach people, and I've realized I've got to be on my A game when it comes to legalities of this. Yes. So I reached out to one of the largest co-living companies in America right now, which is called PadSplit. They don't own real estate. They are the tech platform of doing this. Now, PadSplit has well over 5,000 rooms in over, don't quote me on the exact number of cities, but I know they're in at least 20 cities around the United States. So I called their head legal counsel, and they have a big legal budget, by the way, because they deal with this, right? And they're in it to change the zoning regulations for the long term. That's their long-term play. Little sidebar, but they have done such a good job. I like shouting them out. So Charlie is the head legal counsel, and then Atticus LeBlanc is the CEO. They've just done such a good job for co-living and affordable housing. But they lobbied the U.S. Department for Housing and Urban Development. HUD put out a recommendation that all municipalities in the United States and all cities and municipalities should look at co-living to help solve affordable housing. And HUD went so far as to say, you can use housing choice vouchers for co-living. If someone wants to rent a room, so Section 8 vouchers can now be used anywhere in the United States for co-living. Now there's their whole complicated formula of how to figure out how much the voucher will pay you and whatever, but this is a big deal. This is the HUD. This is coming from the organization that looks at affordable housing and helps to solve these problems, is saying, guys, use co-living, work it into your zoning. And not only that, we'll help pay for it. So that's pretty cool. That was a huge, I didn't do that. That was something that came from PadSplit. They lobbied. They literally hired a lobbyer to go in and have these conversations. Pretty badass. So I hope people understand that's kind of the direction things are going.